The very last thing we need with a flat economy and a hurricane on the way is for another pile-on of regulators to wipe out any progress being made on the jobs front. But believe it or not, even as the Obama administration comes out with the claims that it's cutting red tape, new red tape could be destroying jobs in a uniquely American enterprise. Gibson Guitars, which is an American icon, is getting the treatment from the Justice Department, which is sending armed officers into Gibson's factories. The CEO of Gibson Guitar Company, Henry Juskowitz, joins us now from Nashville. Henry, unbelievable. Armed guard. Who is sending? What branch of the U.S. government is sending armed guards into the Gibson Guitar factory?
Well, the Justice Department is investigating us, and with the wildlife. There were several enforcement departments, the Wildlife Bureau and also Homeland Security.
Homeland Security, this is something that I had in 2009, Homeland Security officers dressed up, as I understand it, in SWAT gear, came in and went into your company. What do they claim that you were doing that is against the law?
Well, the really ironic thing is they didn't tell us. They came in. They evacuated several hundred people, put them out in a parking lot, shut down our production facilities, seized about $500,000 worth of wood, which prevented us in the future from producing guitars. And then all they would say is, we're investigating you, any detail is sealed, and we're just not going to tell you.
Unbelievable. Well, the bottom line here is that the Fish and Wildlife Bureau, among others, claims that you are violating not necessarily U.S. law, but you are violating the law of Madagascar. They say that in using some of the wood products you're doing, you're violating their law, but you claim you're not even violating their law, right?
Right. In fact, the only way we even found out what the potential cause is we sued the government to get the return of the product they seized from us in 2009. And therefore, we went to federal court, and they have to justify that seizure. In that justification, of course, we've had months of discovery and information being exchanged back and forth. And we have affidavits from the many people in that government that say that we've done absolutely nothing illegal, that we are living absolutely by Madagascar law.
It's unbelievable. So even though it is certainly not the duty of U.S. officers to be enforcing laws from Madagascar, but even if it were, you're not violating Madagascar rules. And what kills me, Henry, is that you guys, over the past 2 years, you have created 540 new jobs. This must really put a damper on your willingness to create any more jobs when you have federal agents breathing down your neck.
Well, you have the sense that you're not, I feel like a criminal. We have exactly the same treatment that a drug kingpin would get. And yet, we're a company that is exporting product, that is manufacturing goods in the United States, employing American workers. We were actually involved in supporting conservation causes and a leader in several initiatives in that area. It does make you question life here in the United States.
Is there any chance that things might get so tough for you because of this, I would call it persecution? If you're not violating our law, you're not violating Madagascar's law, and they still have federal agents come, might you think of just packing up and moving to a different country?
Well, I'd hate to, Gibson is American to the core, but it certainly makes me question things.
Well, it must make you question whether or not the government's serious about cutting red tape, right?
Well, they're definitely not serious about cutting red tape. Yeah. And in fact, it's an extraordinary use of force on basically documentation in the import-export business. Yeah. So in what country does armed force come in to point weapons at unarmed people unannounced, not once, but twice, not in one factory, but multiple factories, and they're not accountable for this action. And we have not, as of today, been charged with any specific violation.
Yeah, it's like you're guilty until proven innocent. Henry, we got to leave it at that, but we sympathize with you, my friend, and please come back and let us know what happened. Stay in touch with us, would you?
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime. We would be more than